I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test, part 214. Notable British sportsmen and women, part 8 and 9 or something. While doing leg injury prevention training, and if you participate in the leg injury prevention training, that is at your own risk. So we're having the last person. We are all through the ball. And more or less are we able to remember. Not in detail maybe everything, but many. So, Ellie Simmons, born 1994, is a Paralympian who won gold medals for swimming at the 2008, 12 and 16 Paralympic Games and holds a number of world records. She was the youngest member of the British team at the 2008 Games. Imagine you would know it. Who was the youngest member of the 2008 British team? Ellie Simmons. But here we have the second thing. I already have an idea for the first thing. She won 3 gold medals. End of 2008 starting. So, and the E has 3 to the side. Ellie Simmons. Ellie. So we're taking the E, the 3, and also the E looks like a half 8. So E, Ellie, and she started in 2008 and won 3 gold medals in a row, 2008, 12 and 16. The Olympic Games are every 4 years, so 2008, 2012 and 2016. And Simmons, we are at least able to recognize the name again. Simmons. Ellie Simmons. Is it French? Ellie Simmons. That's all different of the persons. Now we're having a lot of time to learn them. If we wouldn't do leg injury prevention training, which we're starting. We are breathing in and out. And out. And out. Again in. And out. Again in. And out. And last round, breathe in. Out. Across the legs. And out. And now we're doing 2 stretching exercises more. We are bringing one leg up. We're taking it, we're pointing the foot, and we're pulling the leg up. And with the other leg, the leg up, point the foot, pull the leg up. Now we're taking the foot at the ankle, and we're putting it back, and have a neutral position in the spine, so we're actually stretching the quad muscles. And the other leg, we're taking it at the ankle, and we have a neutral position in the lower back, so we're actually stretching quad muscles. And now the exercise, we're putting one hand on the tummy, one on the lower back, and now we're lifting one leg up. And the leg is straight. If the quad muscle is cramped, then bring them up and point the foot. Have a flex foot and try to bring the leg higher. Straight and long leg, flex foot, try to bring the leg higher. And control with the hands, but you don't hold leg. Control with the hands, but you have a neutral position in the spine, and try to bring the leg higher. And not too long, and we're bringing it up and pointing the foot. And now one hand on tummy, one on lower back, and we're bringing one leg up with a flexed foot. And control with the hands, but you don't fall back, and try to bring the leg higher. And try to bring it higher. Not overly much force to bring it higher, but put effort into bringing it higher. And a little longer, and not too long. It increases the risk of a cramp. Let's see. Point the foot and we can do the next exercise. We're having one standing leg with the toes to the outside. The other leg is with the heel on the ground, and we're lifting the heel off the ground and placing it again on the ground. The whole movement comes from the hips, but don't do too many, maybe 5 to 10 are just enough. Make sure you are familiar with this list, we are familiar with it, of sportsmen and women, including which sports they are famous for. It is not so difficult, which sports, but the problem is, and any medals won or records achieved. First of all, they didn't tell us of a single record achieved. The yachtwoman, Dame Ellen MacArthur, she sailed around the world. That is the only record we're knowing of. But one could technically say it like saying the first person since 1946 winning a Grand Slam, or that was the other thing. Tour de France, first Briton to win the Tour de France, is in a way a record. But they just said that Baroness Tanniger Thompson broke 30 world records. They're using the term broke 30 world records because oftentimes they are then later, a few years later, they said another person broke again. So she does not hold these 30 records because maybe 1, 2, 3, 10 of them are in the meantime being broken by another person. We're changing my leg and the same exercise. And any medals won or records achieved. I have a little suspicion that they're just writing that here, but I cannot ask for it. I can't really imagine that. Here. Maybe a little, but I think it's more the other way around. We're going to ask which person won where and where. So, Sir Roger Bannister. Why are you starting at the beginning? But Roger Bannister did the following. He ran. So the Roger Bunny, who was banned because he ran too fast, and did he in 1954, they ran the mile under 4 minutes. And then they're having the Royal Jackal stew, Royal Jackal who makes stew after he had won 3 Formula 1 World Cups, World Championships. So it's Sir Jackie Stewart, Jackie, Jackal and Stewart stew. And Bobby Moore, I think we're going just for Bobby Moore. World Cup 1966, led them as a captain of football. And then B.I.B., Baron Ian Botham, captained the English cricket team and made several records. We're having the last exercise. We're having 3 options. It's an extreme exercise. The first one is just you bring a foot up with a flex foot, and again down, and again up, and again down, but don't hang on to the floor. The next exercise is you have the leg in, and you bring it out, all with the flex foot, in, and bring it out. And you can do that extreme or not extreme. And the third one is the actual exercise. You're having a leg, and you're swinging it back. You have a flex foot, and you try not to fall down. The leg is straight, which swings, foot is flexed. And we're going with the upper part of the body down in a straight line. And the standing leg is tall, so you bring the pressure onto the biceps femoris muscles of the hamstrings. So actually the other exercises are not working in that way really. And you try not to fall in the abdomen. I'm doing a few more. The foot is flexed, the leg is straight. We're going with the upper part of the body down in a straight line. And the standing leg is tall. And last 4. And the last one. Now the other leg. Towards standing leg. The swinging leg is long and straight. We're having a flexed foot. The upper part of the body goes down in a straight line. And we're going to a standing leg to bring the pressure onto the biceps femoris of the hamstrings. And we're trying not to fall in the abdomen. And a few more. And the last 4. Another closing exercise, breathing in, going out. Breathing in, out. In. And out. Again, in. And out. Now breathe in, close the legs. And out. And we're having 5 minutes. Let's go over the inventions. There are, the first one there was JLB was the first one listed there. And JLB, John Logie Baird, he developed the television in the 1920s. And the first successful test was in 1932. The BBC had the first radio broadcasting in 1922 and first television service 14 years later, 1936. Then we're having Sir Robert Watson Watt, he made the radar. And in 1935 the first successful test was. Then we're having, I don't know where it goes on, let's say Alan Turing, the Turing machine, he developed it in the 1930s. Also in the 1930s there was the jet engine. The jet engine was by Sir Frank Whittle, in the 1930s developed. And then we're having Francis Crick, he was part of a team working at Cambridge and London and discovering the structure of the DNA in 1953. And when we're having, let's go there, we're having cloning. And cloning, these are Keith Campbell and Sir Ian Wilmot. That was in 1996, and we're having IVF therapy, in vitro fertilization. That was in 1978, and it was an allergic steps, so it were Robert Edwards. It were Patrick Steptoe and Sir Robert Edwards who did it. And when we're having the Harrier jumper jet, where we have nothing more, the Concorde. The Concorde was in Moon year 1969. In 1976 starting, in 2003 out of use. Concorde was Britain and France. And when we're having the Hoovercraft, that was Sir Christopher Cockerell. The Hoovercraft, I don't know if you heard that. And yes, that was on Christmas Eve 1990, and it was Sir Tim Berners-Lee. And when we're having, there was one more. Yes, Sir Peter Mansfield. Because of many fields of his MRI, it was magnetic resonance imaging. No, we don't have the year. Don't have the year, let us all. Yes, we have the Goodfellow, like James Goodfellow cash dispensing ATM machine, 967 Barclay, East End London. Harrier jumper jet engine. Yes, we forgot one here. And once upon Sir Bernard Lovell, Joddlebank, Cheshire, the largest radio telescope in the world. And insulin, John McLeod co-discovered. More or less, these are all listed here. We will not forget penicillin by Alexander Fleming, 1928 if I'm not wrong. And we're having 2 minutes, but I think that's enough. We will go multiple times over all these notable British sportsmen and women listed here. And in the next part we can go on cricket, but I don't think we will get an actual explanation how the game works. But the next thing will be cricket. And the next part I'm going to show closer. I thank you very much, and in the next part to cricket.